Rebecca Schaeffer was a rising star in Hollywood, known for her role as Patty Russell on the TV show My Sister Sam. She had moved to Los Angeles a few years prior, fresh-faced and full of ambition, and had quickly landed the role that would launch her career. With her charming smile and bright blue eyes, Rebecca had captured the hearts of audiences across the country. But not everyone who admired Rebecca was a casual fan. Robert John Bardo, a young man from Tucson, Arizona, had become fixated on her. He had started watching My Sister Sam and had become obsessed with Rebecca's character. Over time, his fascination with the show and its star grew into an all-consuming passion. Bardo began sending fan mail to Rebecca, and at first, she responded politely. However, as time went on, Bardo's letters became increasingly intense and disturbing. He would write about his love for her, his desire to be with her, and his frustration that she didn't return his feelings. Despite the warning signs, Rebecca's management team and family didn't take Bardo's behavior seriously. They saw him as just another overzealous fan, and they didn't realize the danger that lurked beneath his words. As Bardo's obsession grew, so did his desperation. He started to show up at places where Rebecca would be, hoping to catch a glimpse of her. He would follow her, watching her every move and taking note of her daily routine. Rebecca began to feel uneasy, sensing that someone was watching her. In 1989, Bardo's obsession reached a boiling point. He obtained Rebecca's home address through a private investigator and began to stalk her in earnest. On July 18, 1989, Bardo arrived at Rebecca's apartment building, armed with a .357 Magnum revolver. He rang the doorbell, and when Rebecca answered, he shot her in the chest at point-blank range. Rebecca died a short time later at the hospital, surrounded by her family and friends. The news of her death sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry and beyond. Fans were devastated, and Rebecca's colleagues were left to grapple with the reality of the danger that lurked in the shadows of fame. The investigation into Rebecca's murder revealed the disturbing extent of Bardo's obsession. Police found a shrine dedicated to Rebecca in Bardo's home, filled with photos, letters, and other memorabilia. They also discovered that Bardo had been tracking Rebecca's movements, documenting her daily routine, and planning his attack for months. Bardo was arrested and charged with Rebecca's murder. He was later convicted and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Rebecca's death was a tragic reminder of the dangers of celebrity obsession and the importance of taking stalking seriously. Her family and friends continued to advocate for stronger laws and protections for victims of stalking, and their efforts led to significant changes in California's stalking laws. Years later, Rebecca's legacy lived on, not just as a talented actress, but as a symbol of the devastating consequences of unchecked obsession and the importance of prioritizing safety and security. John Hinckley Jr. was a young man from a wealthy family in Denver, Colorado. He had always been fascinated by the world of celebrity and politics, and he became particularly fixated on actress Jodie Foster after watching her in the 1976 film Taxi Driver. Hinckley's obsession with Foster grew over time, and he began to see her as the key to his own fame and recognition. He started sending her letters and making phone calls, but Foster didn't respond. Undeterred, Hinckley became convinced that the only way to impress Foster and gain her attention was to do something extraordinary. Hinckley became fixated on President Jimmy Carter and later President Ronald Reagan, and he saw assassinating the president as a way to gain notoriety and impress Foster. On March 30, 1981, Hinckley attempted to assassinate President Reagan outside the Washington Hilton Hotel in Washington, D.C. Hinckley shot Reagan, as well as several others, including White House Press Secretary James Brady, Secret Service agent Timothy McCarthy, and Washington police officer Thomas Delahanty. Reagan survived the attack, but Brady suffered a serious brain injury and was left with lasting disabilities. Hinckley was arrested and charged with attempted assassination. During his trial, his lawyers argued that he was suffering from psychosis and was obsessed with Foster. Hinckley was eventually found not guilty by reason of insanity and was committed to a psychiatric hospital. The case raised questions about the nature of insanity and the responsibility of individuals for their actions. Hinckley's obsession with Foster was a key factor in his actions, and it highlighted the dangers of celebrity obsession and the blurred lines between reality and fantasy.